In this example, we're going to compare the population increase for St. Paul, Minnesota and Rogers, Minnesota between 2010 and 2020. So St. Paul increased from a population of 285,068 to a population of 311,527. All right. And this first question is just asking us to find the change in the population. So let's just do that. Let's do that for each one of them. We have St. Paul. And we're just going to find the difference, right? We're just going to find the difference in the population. Find out how much it increased. So I'm going to take the second amount, the population in 2020, and subtract the population in 2010. All right. So I'm going to put that into my calculator. I get 26,459. All right. So the population increased by 26,459 for St. Paul. And now let's look at Rogers. Rogers, Minnesota went from 8,697 to 13,295. So I'm going to take 13,295 and subtract 8,697. All right, put that into my calculator. That's a total increase of 4,598 people. All right, so that's the change in each population. In part B, we want to look at the average rate of change for each population. Okay, so we're looking at average rate of change. All right, so this is over that 10-year period. So we're not finding relative rate of change now. Remember, average rate of change, we're going to look at it over time. So we're going to look at the delta y. Let's say y is the population change over the delta t. That's what we're looking at for average rate of change. Okay, so let's break this down again into St. Paul. All right, let's do St. Paul first. Now we're looking at, we already got the change in the population, right? So I can just take that from the what we found above. So it's 26,459, and that was over a 10-year period. So it's over a 10-year period. So that's 2,646, and there are units, right, on this. It's people, right, because we're counting, the population is counting people, and then that's per year, right? So on average, the population increased by 2,646 people per year. All right, now it may not have been that exact amount every single year, but on average, that was the population growth per year. Let's do the same thing for Rogers. So Rogers, we know the population change was 4,598 over 10 years, right? So I'm just going to divide that, and and I'm going to round this up. I'm rounding this off to the nearest person, since it is population. So I'm going to round this off to 460. 460 people per year. Okay, that's on average over that 10-year period. Rogers added roughly 460 people per year. Okay, so like I said, I rounded them off because I don't want 0.98 or 9.8 people. All right, so the last question is asking us. Well, I guess that's the last one. Yep, that's it. We want to find the relative rate of change of these two populations. Okay, so now remember, the relative rate of change is going to be the delta y over. It's going to be the initial. It'll be the y0, right? Essentially. Okay, that gives us how much the population changed compared to what it was initially, right? It gives us a percent increase. All right, so let's again. St. Paul. St. Paul, what do we have? St. Paul, we had a total change of 26,459, but now we're going to divide this by the initial population. right? So the initial population was 285,068. All right, so put that into my calculator and I get 0.0928. That is a 9.28% increase. Okay. So what are the units? Remember that the units of relative rate of change, there are no units. There are no units. Essentially you're dividing people by people. People cancels out, and so there are no units. Let's do the same thing for Rogers. We take the change in the population, which was 4,598, and we're going to divide it by the initial population was 8,697. So you can see already that's 4,000 adding. You're taking a population of 8,697 and adding 4,000 people to more than 4,000 people. So if I put that into my calculator, I get 0.5287, which is a 52.87% increase. Okay, so you can see, that's a bigger population change. Rogers, even because it's small, but you add that many people to a small community like that, and that is a fast growing community. Whereas St. Paul absorbed 26,000 new people, but it was already at over 285,000 people. So I'm sure from the strain on the infrastructure of St. Paul, it probably adding those 26,000 people was not that big a deal. But for Rogers probably had to do some scrambling to get their the city services ready for that many people, to serve that many new people over that short amount of time. All right, well, that's all I have for you for this section, and I will see you in class.